I'm Dr. April Rubin, and I've been asked here today by Dana and Preston to introduce their son into the Covenant of Abraham. This covenant is called VID00026, and it's the oldest tradition in Judaism and the most significant event in a young boy's life. So it reenacts Genesis, where God said to Abram, "You shall be circumcised through the flesh of your foreskin, and this shall be the mark of the covenant between me and you. Every boy among you shall be circumcised when he is 8 days old throughout all the generations." So in Genesis, once Abram had circumcised himself, and he did this when he was 99 years old, his name was changed from Abram to Abraham. And in fact, Sarah's name was also changed at this time from Sarai to Sarah. So as part of this ceremony, it's traditional that we also will give the baby his Hebrew name today. So I'd like to take a few moments to describe some of the rituals concerning Brit Milah, ritual objects. To begin with, you note that we have some candlesticks set out, Kiddush cup, and then we have 2 chairs that are set out special. And of course, they're very different from all the other chairs. So candles have become traditionally associated with Brit Milah, and a couple of reasons given for them being here. One is that the light of the candles remind us of the light of Torah. Another reason given for them being here is that although we've been practicing this tradition for thousands of years, there were certainly times during our history when we weren't allowed to practice our religion. We did so anyway, in secret, and oftentimes Jews would light candles and place them in the window so that any Jew passing by would know that a Brit was occurring. So the candlesticks we're using today were made by hand with love from the baby's maternal great aunt Ivy, and she's a potter who lives in Israel. And they were also used at Micah's Brit. Now, is she here?
Aunt Ivy's on the computer.
She's on the computer.
She's streaming.
All right.
It was on Skype.
Okay. So now they're going to be lit by Penny and Manny Flecker, the baby's maternal great aunt and uncle. So we don't say any bracha or any prayer because they're not ritually necessary. Thank you. Right, so the Kiddush cup we're using today is from Dana's bat mitzvah. It was also used at Dana and Preston's wedding and at Micah's Brit. So it's going to be used to give some wine to the baby during the naming ceremony. Although I've been known to give wine to the baby a little before that as well. So we have. David's grandpa can have it anytime. So there are 2 chairs set out. This chair right here is for the prophet Elijah. It's said that Elijah attends every Brit, and again, a couple of reasons given for that. One is that during the time of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel, the Jews had reverted to worshiping idols. And Elijah, who was a prophet who lived at that time, complained to God and said, "The Jews have forsaken your covenant." So for this reason, he's obligated to be present at every Brit so that he can see with his own eyes that the Jews are keeping the covenant and doing so with great enthusiasm. Now we also know that Elijah will appear and herald the coming of the Messiah. So by his being present at every Brit, we hope that he's heralding the coming of the Messiah soon, maybe. Perhaps even in the form of this newborn baby. So, the second chair right here is for the Sondek, Bernard Wally. Did I say that right? Yeah. Okay. The baby's maternal grandfather. The Sondek is the person who holds the baby during the performance of the circumcision. And this is a very honored role because it's thought that the good characteristics of the Sondek rise up to the baby during the performance of the circumcision. And it's a role that's equated with that of the Kohen who burned the incense offering at the temple when we had one. So typically, not just yet, the ceremony begins with the baby being brought into the room by the Kvater and or Kvaterin. Today we have a Kvaterin, Ellen Marlowe Wally, the baby's maternal grandmother. As he's brought in, we're all standing anyway, we'll say Baruch haba, or blessed is he who enters. Ellen will then place him on Elijah's throne. I'll be saying some prayers, and then the baby will be given to Bernie to hold while I perform the circumcision. During the performance of the circumcision, we can all kind of hum Eliyahu Hanavi, anything to kind of distract the rest of you and calm the baby. Once the circumcision is completed, Dana and Bernie will say a blessing. I'll say a blessing over the wine, prayer of thanksgiving, and then I will give the baby his Hebrew name and welcome him into the community of the Jewish people. And this is the part of the ceremony that the baby gets some wine during. In fact, before I give the baby his name, Ellen is also going to do a reading. After the baby gets his name, Preston and Dana are going to tell us about his name. We'll say Shehechianu, we'll sing a little bit, and then, as with all good Jewish simchas, we have to eat, but only after the blessing over the challah is said. So if you're ready, you can bring him in. You should wear that, yeah. You can put him right in. Here, as we all say, Baruch haba.
Baruch haba.
Baruch haba. Zeh hakiseh shel Eliyahu hanavi zachor latov. This is Elijah's chair, Elijah the prophet, who was known for his good deeds. Lishuatecha kiviti Adonai, sibarti lishuatecha Adonai, umitzvotecha asiti. Eliyahu malech habrit, hine shalacho lefanecha, amod al yamini v'samcheni. Sibarti lishuatecha Adonai, sas anochi al yimartecha, k'motzei shalal rav. Shalom rav liohavei toratecha, v'yein lamom yachshol. Ashrei tivcha utkarev, vishkon chatzerecha. Yisbah b'tu beitecha, kadosh hechalecha. May we fully enjoy the goodness of your house, your holy shrine. Okay. I'm going to hold this and put it back on. And put him with his head towards Israel. Sit or stand, a choice.
Well, I'll trade places with you.
Too cute today. What's the matter? You don't like wine?
You're fine, you're good.
Not my son.
He said he likes wine. And your grandma's smiling. Ivrito Shel Abraham Avinu.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us to enter my Son into the covenant of Abraham our father.
Amen. כשם שנכנס לברית, כן ייכנס לתורה וחופה ולמעשים טובים. Amen. Just as he has been introduced into the Torah, so may he grow into the covenant. So may he grow to a life of Torah, to see the chuppah, and to a life of ma'asim tovim, or good deeds. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidesh yidi mibetem, v'chol pisher rasam, v'tze'etza'av chatan b'yot brit kodesh. Al ken b'zchar zo, del chai chalkenu tzurenu tzaveh lechatzil, yedidut she'erenu mishacha. L'ma'am brito asher sam b'vzarenu. Baruch atah Adonai korei habrit. Amen.
Amen.
Alright, so where's Ellen? There you are. You want to do your reading?
Above all, teach this newborn child. Above all, teach this newborn child to touch, to never stop, to feel how far is other than the leaf or cheek, to know through these hands diamond from glass, mezuzah from anything else in the world. The same with challah and a book. As the baby grows, teach this child to embrace the shoulders of another before sadness brings him inhumanely low. To stroke the hair softly of one younger who is weeping, or one older who cries. Let these hands be a gentle yes, when yes is the truth, and gently a no, when no is right. Whatever these fingers touch, may they be for new holiness and blessing, for light, for life, and for love. Amen.
Amen.
Danny Siegel.
So should we give him his Hebrew name? Sure.
Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu, Kayin et Hayelem Yosef Aviv, Yikaresh Shmo Yisrael, Rafi Yom, Ben Dina Sarah Ita, Yismach ha'av v'yotzeh chalatza, v'tagel imo v'ivri v'tina, Kachati, Yismach avicha v'imecha, v'tagel yoladetecha, v'ne'emar, v'ye'avor alayach, v'yarech, v'poseset b'damaya, v'omar lach b'damaya chayi.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
It's a hymn. Va'omar lach b'damaya chayi, v'ne'emar, zachar v'olam barito, davar tzivor le'elef dor, asher karat et Abraham, v'yishbuato liyitzchak, v'ya'amideha li'Yaakov l'chok, v'Yisrael barito lam. V'ne'emar, v'yamul Abraham et Yitzchak, b'no ben shmonat yamim, ka'asher tzivar oto Elohim. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov, ki li'olam chasdo, as we all say. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov,
Kito,
ki li'olam chasdo.
Kileolam Chasto,
Rafi Yona, zeh ha'katan, gadol yeh. Kishem shenichnas labrית, כן ייכנס לתורה, לחופה ולמעשים טובים. Amen.
Amen.
Our God and God of our ancestors, sustain this child, the father and mother. We declare his name to be Rafi Yona, or Riley Fisher Blay, son of Preston Philip Blay and Dana Sarah Marlowe. May both parents rejoice in their offspring. Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His mercy endures forever. May this child, named Rafi Yona, or Riley Fisher, become great. Even as he has been introduced into the covenant, so may he grow to a life of Torah, to the chuppah, and to a life of ma'asim tovim, or good deeds, as we all say.
Amen.
Amen.
us about his name? Yep, I can get out of the way.
Like Israel can say, and
Yep.
Florida can say.
Yep.
Preston and I really want to thank you all for coming today to Riley's Brittany Law. We've gathered for what is perhaps one of the most joyous occasions a family and community can celebrate, the welcoming of a new baby. In many cultures throughout our beautiful and diverse world, a name is a really special part of a person, part of the person's essence and part of their being. And naming a child confers individuality and uniqueness upon him. In our tradition, we give the child an English name and we also give him a Hebrew name. Thus, we recognize his individuality and also his place in the Jewish community. Preston and I thought for months and months and months about our new son's name and the importance of this moniker. And a name is far more to us than a nondescript identifier, because rather it is a pointer that channels our gaze in three different directions. Its principal and unvarying function is to really identify a man or a woman. And a name bestows individuality, it ensouls. But names may also recall the past. Often they connect living persons to their descendants of blessed memory. A name may also predict the future, express a hope, and indicate a destiny. They carry in some multiple messages. Through names, we eavesdrop as the old instruct the young, prepare them to carry the culture, and bless them on their way. In essence, a name may cradle an individual's soul for his journey through life. The English and Hebrew names that we have carefully selected for Riley have very special meanings to us. His first name in English is Riley, which means valiant, and he is named after my grandmother, Ruth Rosenthal Marlowe, who passed away far too young in 1995. My grandma was a magnanimous extrovert who was boldly courageous, and we hope that gets passed along to our son Riley. My grandma Ruth was the epitome of a family matriarch. Somebody's and it has been said that she was the family glue that held everyone together. Grandma Ruth always had family over for all the holidays, and her home was filled with wonderful cooking smells and very happy memories. She was a kind and caring person, driven to succeed, and would not take no for an answer. She wanted to always be a part of her children and grandchildren's lives. Education and lifelong learning were a big part of her value system. At the age of 72, Grandma relearned how to drive after my grandfather Martin fell ill, so that they could still go out for lunches and activities. An important tenet that Grandma Ruth lived by was that no matter what, you stick with your family. She was also very social and had tons of friends in her social network, and was a lifelong friend to many. If she were alive today, she would no doubt have hundreds of friends on Facebook. Riley's middle name is Fisher. We realize that this is a little non-traditional for some conventional Jewish naming practices, but we are very excited to name him in honor of my grandma Frances Eisenson, who is watching, hi Gram, who is watching the bris today via Skype on her netbook in Florida. She is so tech savvy, and I just wish that you could be here in person today, Grandma, rather than on this video call. Grandma Fran is someone who was always happy to share her ideas with you and speak what's on her mind. She even helped us pick out the special name in her honor. Graham, or just G, as if she were a rapper, as we lovingly call her, has a huge heart and always filled with love and loves to share. Like Grandma Ruth, G is a social butterfly with zillions of friends all around the world and family who adore her. G is a fabulous cook who always feels the need to fill the bellies of her guests with healthy, delicious treats and dishes. Graham loves to travel and be with her family. She's been around the world, around the country, dining with princes in Egypt, eating paella in Spain, and riding camels in deserts. Most recently, she went to visit my family in Israel just this past spring of this year. We can only dream that these values and experiences will be part of Riley Fisher's nature as well. We hope that Riley Fisher will embody some of my grandmother's incredible characteristics. Riley's Hebrew name will be Rafi Yonah, We selected Rafi since we really like that R name, and we chose Jonah, or Yonah, which means dove, as Grandma Fran's Hebrew name is Fegala in Yiddish, or Tzipora in Hebrew, both of which mean little bird for a girl, so we thought a dove for a boy was a nice related name to honor Graham. The richness of these English and Hebrew names possess sentimental value and importance to us as they join our past to our future family. We fervently hope that Riley will embody these character traits and be the link from the past generation to the next. L'dor v'dor. May the memory of our loved ones who are in our heart today be a source of love and strength. We lovingly remember my dad, Michael Marlowe, both my grandfathers, Martin Marlowe and Rick Seisenson, my uncle, Hunky Irving and Rosenthal, my cousin Norman Flecker, and Preston's grandfather, Harry. We feel so blessed that you were all able to come out today to welcome Riley into our family. So a very big heartfelt thank you from both Preston and I, and Micah, who was napping, and of course Riley. So thank you guys all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think we should say happy night.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'hayanu, v'kimanu, v'hiyanu, hazman hazeh.
Amen. We need to sing.
Mazel tov and mazel tov and simul tov, simul tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simul tov, simul tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simul tov.